Women ask for, and again, when you're just looking at the hunks who they hold up, they ask for six-packs, which exist only in teenagers and drug dealers. Or drug addicts. Do you have any idea how difficult it is, barring crazy genetics, for a man? Like, if a man doesn't have a six-pack, it's dad bod. Now, dad bod is usually equated with someone, especially like after becoming a father. And there actually is a physiological response where testosterone often decreases because they say it might be an evolutionary mechanism to be staying at home more, to have a period of nurturing, but tend to put on a few pounds, right? So dad bod is seen as someone who's not particularly fit. Was not seen typically as a very desirable body type. And this is what is being shown right now. Bring that back up again. That is dad bod.
If that's dad bod, then Virgie is ant bod for sure.
Yes, exactly. Virgie's barely even human. And I don't mean that as it ceases to actually be comparable to other human being body types. You understand that? Like,
if you silhouetted it would look like an evolution table.
Yeah. It would. So to give you an idea, when we talk about this and these unrealistic standards for women, okay. The ideal male body fat percentage for fitness is 14 to 17%, to be clear. 14 to 17%. If you are too lean, you will actually, your performance will suffer. Cardiovascularly, as far as strength, we know as far as a man performing at is 14 to 17%. Okay. That's not crazy. That's what that guy is right there, dad bod. By the way, go to the gym right now. Go to the gym, find guys lifting heavy ass weights regularly. And watching their diet, not being obsessive, not being a bodybuilder, and ask them to take off their shirt. You know what you'll find? Dad bod. You will find dad bod. That's fine if you think that that's dad bod. The problem is when there are standards that are hyperly unrealistic for one half of society and basically none for the other. Women often complain about how they have to uphold these standards and men don't. I would present to you that the exact opposite is true. That's Exhibit A, dad bod. But you know what else? Let's look right now just at the magazines. I believe these are from this month or the last 2 months on the stands. Let's look at women's magazines and the women on the cover of those magazines. Okay? These are women on the cover of magazines. Right? They have women, you have Cosmopolitan, you have Elle, and you have Women's Fitness right there. Okay? Look at that. You have a pretty good spread there. Hey, I don't know if you know this. Those are all, I would argue, reasonably attainable body standards. None of them are anorexic. I know there's airbrushing and stuff on the cover. I'm talking about it would be, if you were to go into a doctor's office, anywhere from the 1950s to the 1990s, most women would be within striking distance of that shape. There's a standard on the women's magazines. Let's look, for contrast, at men's magazines right now. Look at that.
I can get down to that pretty quick.
Yeah, I could,
So in one case, it's just don't be fat. In the other case, it's you have to be large, muscular, and shredded.
Yeah, on the women's magazine, it's like models. On the men's magazines, it's the greatest athletes in the world.
Yes.
Christian McCaffrey's one of them. Come on.
Was he? Yeah. It's like, I saw Bronny was on one of them.
Men's Health is Christian McCaffrey. It's like,
one of the best basketball players, the best running back in the league.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, I
don't know who the other two guys are.
So what, I have to look like Sidney Sweeney? Well, I have to look like The Rock? Do you have any idea? And by the way, one is actually relatively healthy, the generalized female standards. One is not. When people, that's why I say 14 to 17% is the ideal male body fat for performance. To get what people say they are below 10% body fat, it is very, very difficult to do. People who are on stages, at Mr. Olympia, provided they got on their knees for Joe Weider, if they are on the cover, they often involve diuretics, steroids. These things are not required. These things are not required for a woman to measure up to the ideal body standard. Let me present to you another exhibit. So I showed you the magazines that women read, and then the magazines that are directed towards men, those standards. Here's something else that's very telling. Women, the unrealistic body standards, first off, they don't really exist. And they certainly don't exist because of pressure from men. Now let me show you the men's magazines that have women right now as pinups, showing what they find attractive.
Swing!
None of that is crazy or unrealistic. Marilyn Monroe to Audrey Hepburn to those three right there. You could go down to the local mall, a restaurant, and barring the new obesity trend, grab 10 women at random, and at least half the women would be within striking distance of that. How many of them do you think look like The Rock or Zac Efron when he was doing, Baywatch? Mm-hmm. You just can't have standards for one and not for the other. On one side, you have fat pride and all bodies are beautiful. But here's the reason why you mentioned shame. It's not going to work with guys because fat guys know they're fat.
You know why? Other guys told them.
Yes.
Oh, also mirrors.
Yeah, mirrors exist.
Yeah, but we have a self-regulating body typically of men. You mess with somebody, you rib them a little bit.
Yeah.
Not because you hate them, because you're like, hey, take some corrective action here. Things are getting out of control.
It's very
It's true.
competitive. If I see a guy doing something that I can't do, I'm like,
try to do
crap.
it.
It's because
Yeah.
I, didn't exercise or I eat too much or whatever.
To give you an idea, like I believe average female body fat is between 18 to 28% for women who are like aged 18 to 30. Most guys will find you attractive within the, like, just to be clear, women, if you are average, most men will find you attractive. That's a fact. In other words, you're a little bit curvier, great. You're a little bit skinnier, okay, fine. You have a little more meat, okay, fine. They just ask that you not be unhealthy. And that's not so much the fault of men, it's because we're hardwired to want to reproduce. Women ask for, and again, when you're just looking at the hunks who they hold up, they ask for six packs, which exist only in teenagers and drug dealers. Or drug addicts. Do you have any idea how difficult it is, barring crazy genetics, for a man? Like, if a man doesn't have a six pack, it's dad bod?
I got to 4 once.
You got to 4?
I got the 4-pack.
I thought you said 4%. I'm like, no, you did not. No one gets the 4%.
No, I got to a 4-pack, and it took 5 months in a war zone.
And a lack of food.
It just took Clarissa, what's her name, finding you and Clarissa Ward in a prison.
Josh, it's okay.
No, it just took being, having hours and hours a day where I don't have anything else to do.
It's very
except for go work out or, a lot of heavy stuff to do all day.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, by the way, that
And it's not it's an amount of work that you don't want your man to do, by the way.
Right. No, you
You're
don't.
like, I want you to have a six-pack. Well, you want me to be out of the house and away from you for 6 hours a day?
Right.
You want me to eat separate meals because you don't want to have protein shakes for lunch?
Yeah. We have to weigh out the grams of my chicken
Yeah.
and my
that's
rice.
a little. You want me to do that to you?
Yeah.
You want me to go? Oh, that's a little bit too much salmon for you on your salad.
Can we go out and have fun? Nope. I got to get 10 hours of sleep. We're hitting the hay by
Exactly.
9 p.m.
Yeah. Oh.
And by the way, it's not even fair to say there's only one type of dad bod. There are a bunch of them. There's baby dad bod, there's father bod, there's stepdad bod, there's stay-at-home dad bod, there's Trinidad bod,
That's a different. No, come
there's Baghdad bod, which, by the way, that's not one I would recommend.
No, he's dead. Yeah. 10 minutes after the photo.
Not for Baghdad. He's fine.
I think that was the old guy in the prison cell from Aladdin.
He's a leader.
He's sought after in
Yes.
Baghdad. Yeah.
He's well fed there.
That's because, you know what? It's actually
Men's
not.
health.
It's not this. This is just the dressing. It's my confidence.
Yes, yes.
I'm just like, it's just one of those things. Like, do you have any idea how much easier it is to be a female fitness influencer today on Instagram than it is to be a male fitness influencer? Look at female influencers.
Oh, it's a different thing.
It's women who aren't fat, who do some glute work twice a week, and they wear yoga pants that have an ass stenciled on their ass like the Batman suit. The men,
There are literal profiles that have the word fitness in it, and it's a fat lady.
yes, yeah,
Well,
There are tons of them. I follow them.
yeah, yes, and the men. It's lighting, it's angle, it's dieting down, it's dehydration. You want a dad bod? Okay, a good portion of the NFL would be dad bod. Every single athlete in the world's strongest man would be dad bod. Go to the NHL would be just filled with dad bod. Your gym, the fittest guys in your gym would be dad bod. Mr. Olympia, not on stage, 2 months later would be dad bod. And we have to hear people like Virgie bitch about unrealistic beauty standards that exist exclusively to women. Women, you keep doing this, guess what? It sounds like screeching, and guys are going to check out of the dating pool. Because they're going, wait a second, I got to be 6 foot and I got to have six-pack. If I don't have a six-pack, I'm going to be seen as dad bod? And you have a blood type pudding?
Lay off me, I'm starving.
It's the biggest problem. It's the biggest problem, I'm telling you, that this generation faces, the male-female dynamics, and it's because of crap like this. It's no small issue, and certainly, look, protect your children.
Yeah.
Guard your children. Do not let people like this be an influence on your children. It's not healthy. It's not right. And the funny thing is, what is perfectly healthy, dad bod, as you see in that picture, is seen as mediocre. That's mediocre. That's dad bod.
They're going to replace PE class with second lunch.
Yeah. Hey, good for that guy.
Soda lunch.
Good for that guy. Guys put in some work.
Listen, if I get there, I'd be like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, of course.
I could do it. It'd probably take 6 months, but
Anyone would.
I could do it.
Yeah, good for you, and congrats on your work. Yeah, obviously, it takes a lot of work, and some lady just minimalized it by saying you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Dad bod.
Because that's the dad bod's the guy. You know, he's not out of shape, but he's not like the most physically fit dude. That's what a dad bod is.
That's
what it's
typically
supposed
what
to
it
be,
is,
right?
because, you know, he
like a guy
works for a living.
He works and he takes care of his kids, and every once in a while he does some push-ups.
Yeah.
That guy does push-ups every couple hours, probably.
Yeah.
That guy is
Working out a
training
lot.
properly. Hey, if you're still watching, you can comment below or click this video playing in a box. Shut up.
I just need.
Shut up. You can tune in live weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, because that's the full show. Which you can say, shut.
I didn't say anything.
I know you didn't say anything. I could feel it. Click like.